What is up, guys? Welcome to the Pretty Straightforward channel. Well, it's something I've been trying to do for a while, and I'm finally making it happen. It's really where I say, yeah, I'm going to take on this project, and it seems pretty straightforward. Usually, it turns out to not be as straightforward as I think that it's going to be, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Or sometimes it's relatively straightforward, and there are things that I can knock out and get done. Now, most of this revolves around trucks and off-road vehicles in particular right now. There's other things I'd love to do, but that's kind of where we're going to start, mostly because all of these pretty straightforward projects that I've started turn out to be quite the project, and some of them take quite a while, 6 years, maybe more, I'm not sure. Some of them also are relatively short. They don't take that much time. But I'm going to give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing. This is the first episode, so I want you to kind of have an idea of where we're headed with this. Now, most of this stuff happens, like I said, in the garage. It's going to be revolving mostly around project cars, off-road things. I love the drift world, and that's something that I'd like to do in the future. I'd like to build maybe a rally car at some point, but right now we're focused on off-road stuff, and primarily I have this project behind me, which is a Dodge Durango. We'll talk a little bit more about what that is and all the work that's gone into it. It's not that far from being done, so we'll bring you up to speed on what's going on there. We also like to do some camping. So I've got a truck camper that we use on a regular basis, and I've got an older Dodge, something that I wanted to have without a payment. But what comes along with something that we've used for a little while also, is the wear and tear that happens with a Dodge. But, things like the front bumper that I built, some of the other stuff that goes along with it, those actually turn out to be pretty straightforward projects, and they're relatively easy to knock out. So that's kind of the overview. The other thing I have is a 2003 Jeep Cherokee, and there's things that I want to do to that as well. I guess I didn't realize I was a Chrysler fan as much as I am, but apparently I am. Became a Dodge guy, so I've got this Dodge Durango. We've got the 05 Dodge Cummins, and then I've got this thing, a 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ. It's the Laredo. It needs some work, I'm not gonna lie. I launched it off of a berm here a couple weeks back, and I cracked one of the radiator hoses at the bottom, so the radiator needs to go. Lucky for me, like a year ago, it started seeping slowly anyways, and I bought a radiator. So I've got a radiator for it. Haven't found the time to do it, but we're gonna do that. I also have an entire lift kit sitting around for that WJ. It's something we'd like to, I think, bring around with us, have a few more family adventures with. So the lift kit's sitting around, but so are these axles. So I've got a Dana 60 front for it and a corporate 14 bolt rear. These are things, again, that have been sitting here for a little bit. I've got a full lift kit. Let's take it to the back here in the garage. I got a full lift kit for it. So rough country, long arm kit with 6-inch coils. It's just sitting here in boxes. We just got a bunch of stuff sitting here. It's been sitting here for a while. And like I said, so is the radiator. Radiator's been sitting here for a little bit. So it's time to do that. Now, the biggest project that I've taken on is this beast. Let's actually flip this around real quick. So this is a little bit in pieces right now, but this is a 1999 Dodge Durango. You might say, who the heck builds a Dodge Durango? But the way I look at it is I had always built, I've had XJs in my life. I had a 4Runner for a little bit. I had a 79 Toyota that I loved, a little short bed pickup. But I've always done something that people can go with you on, because when you've got 4 seats and you're able to take people along, it's just more fun. You get to introduce people to fun things. Also, you get to scare the crap out of them when your truck lurches off camber. So I came up with this quite a while ago. Really what I wanted to do was model it after a rock bouncer and build something that was still a full-bodied rig. This has just morphed and morphed and morphed. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about what's going on here, what the status of it is. It might not look real close right now, but it actually is pretty close to, I would say, being done. There's some, it's the last 10%, right? So the last 10% is usually kind of the hardest to do, but it's got a 6-liter LS in it. It's got a NV4500 5-speed transmission behind it. It's got a Northwest Fab Eco box and a rebuilt MP205 transfer case. It's got this custom built 14-bolt axle. I built this all myself. It's also on my Instagram and things like that. So we'll share some of those types of things as we move forward. Obviously full Howe hydraulic steering. It has triangulated 4-links front and rear. It's got a 14-bolt rear axle, both of which are shaved. It's got a 32-gallon Jazz fuel cell. That's all clearanced. We're running Fox 16-inch coilovers. We've got 8 inches of up travel, 8 inches of down travel. And this thing really is sitting at about ride height. Right now, actually, it's a little high. It's probably an inch higher, maybe 2 inches than it usually goes. So there's some work to finish up for sure. The floor's got to go in. Actually, I had been in the process of building headers, and that's kind of where I started with some of this. And then I pulled these factory headers back out, the OE, and I was like, man, does that fit? Because nothing else seems to fit. And guess what? They do. So that's what we're kind of going to work on next. Going to work on getting these factory headers bolted on, get a full exhaust on this thing. I've got gauges for it. We've got a starter for it. We've got the triple shifters. I've got the rest of the house steering system. I've got, man, a ton of stuff. The ECU's got to get flashed. We've got new plugs and wires. We've got bump stops. The new clutch has to go into this thing. So there's a number of things to do, but it's really kind of on the final stretch. All the fabrication work's done. The axles are fully built out. It's spooled front and rear, 538 gears, 410 U-joints all the way around. You can see that the front drive shaft is in right now. I don't know if you can see that from there. So the front drive shaft is in. The rear drive shaft is built. Everything's really close to the last steps. So really what this is about now is, those final pieces. So stay tuned to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe, stay up to speed on what we're doing. I'm going to try to put out 1 to 2 videos a week. I'm going to try to keep them short for the most part right now so that you can get little updates. But we're really going to dig in and start to make some stuff happen. And like I said, we want to flip that the Jeep Grand Cherokee into a 1-ton 6-inch lift kind of off-road family rig that is streetable. This thing is obviously not streetable. It's not going to be drivable on the street. I'm definitely going to drive it on the street a little bit, but shh, don't tell anybody. My neighbor's a sheriff, so I think he said it was fine. He's fine with it. He said, yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. I mean, what are they going to tell you? So again, this thing's a full-bodied rig. I got fenders and the hood and everything out back. Those shock towers pop through the hood a little bit. So super excited to share all this stuff with you guys. Any little projects that come up, little tips, little tricks, just little things. Really, it's not just going to be about one thing. This channel is really going to be about the lifestyle I live, the traveling, off-road stuff, camping, mountain bikes, whatever else I get into around the house, and just things we want to go do, adventures and travel. So stay tuned. So, like I said, like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.